Had a black woman at work tell me yesterday something that just blew me away. She was telling me that no civilians in the United States should be allowed to have AK-47s or AR-15s. And I politely listened to her and I said, she goes, but they're for the purpose of mass killings. I said, okay. So if a bunch of rioters surround a man in a woman's house and they've done nothing wrong, you think a pistol is going to be enough protection? I said, if they have AR-15s and AK-47s with magazine clips, they can get enough people as they start to run up on them that the rest are going to run. She goes, oh, well, that won't stop it. I said, really? So I said, how do you stop this? She did not come up with an answer. She just simply said that no American should be allowed to own AR-15s. But are you ready for this? Biden wants to arm 87,000 IRS agents. You think he's going to give them a 6-shooter pistol? Did you see what's going on in Chicago? Black teens beating up a white woman because of her skin color, tearing her up, stomping on cars, destroying the products in Walmart and taking them, busting into the art museum. These are jungle creature acting folks, people. These are people that have been raised by Democrats for decades now, finally becoming unhinged. And all of this so-called civil society we live in has not made them civil. I have friends in the continent of Africa that are more civil, more class, more education, can speak several languages than this shit that the Democrats have raised. Lori Lightfoot did not stop black-on-black violence. She didn't even make an effort. Brandon Johnson, another loser mayor, voted by loser voters, thinking that blacks are going to solve their problems. They still haven't. They won't. And they're not even trying. Listen to Brandon Johnson's sorry response to teens tearing up Chicago. They're hungry, he said. Breaking into the art museum, tearing up cars, beating up a white woman. You got to be kidding me. But I work with a coworker, and today, you know, she likes to point out about the 14-year-old shot by a white guy. She's always telling me what a white person did to a black person, what a cop did to a black person. She never talks about what a black person has done to cops and what black people have done, will do, and continue to do to whites. That's vacant from African-American discussion tables, okay? And what you see is this old recycled racism go around narrative. Jayland Walker, I was glad to see that the citizens, the jury, 2 were black on the Ohio panel, did not press charges against the police. The person I work with said, they shot 46 rounds into him. I kept my mouth shut. You have to pick your battles. I don't care if they shot 10,000 rounds into him. Would her outrage been the same if that had been me or a white person? Of course not. Of course not. I told you, African American people are myopic. They're only into their music. They're only into their culture. They're only into their own skin color. I had a discussion with a student I work with, and I was talking about, I believe it was a man from Zimbabwe who won the Boston Marathon 2 hours and 5 minutes. And he turns around, he says, that's because we are black power. These folks are being manipulated and brainwashed by the very party that kept them in slavery to believe that me and the rest of us are garbage. But let me make it clear, Chicago is full of Asians and Hispanics and other ethnic groups. These blacks aren't just going after whites. They're going after stores and shops owned by Jewish people, by Americans of all stripes and colors. Brandon Johnson is another politician, another bullshitter, another blame it on everything but the problem. We've watched in America that Democrats are systematically committing constitutional suicide, i.e., want to stack the court, want to stack the House, the Senate. You get a Democrat majority in this country, watch what happens. The articles, the amendments to the Constitution will vaporize. We actually have a system where if you get all the lawmakers on one Democrat side, they can shred the document and bring in a totalitarian regime. We're already seeing it. The Democrats are filthy rich. They talk about rich Republicans. Let me tell you, there's no Republican as rich as the Democrats in social media. The Zuckerbergs, the Google bringing in what, $42 million a day? I mean, that's crazy. Crazy. The Masters, the gift shop, somebody was telling me brought in something like $10 million, $1 million a day, just buying shit that's got Masters on it. That's what Americans spend their money on. And the Democrats are prospering. While people like me, the store, the Walmart, a black man was robbing the store and shoved over one of the Walmart workers trying to stop him. A cop came in and told him to stop. He, of course, didn't. Tased him, dropped him to the ground. He gets up, tries to run. He got tased again. It's funny. The black community will shoot and kill black people left and right. There is no outrage from the black community over the death of a black man at the hands of a black man. Now you got teens in Chicago out of control. How did we get to a point in this country where we let teenagers have more rights than us who follow the law? I was told today Chicago is the second largest city in America. You think these kids are going to stop? They got away with this. That's called empowering them. What's going to stop them from rolling into the suburbs and going like this to all the white people? What are they going to do to stop them? I work with black people. They don't believe the truth about my race. Not all of them, but most of them believe the Democrat lie. The Democrats are using them to foment rebellion, to foment a movement of tyranny. The Democrats during COVID-19 encouraged people to stay home and handed them goo-gods of money. When things lifted, nobody wanted to come back to work. Work is being seen as beneath them. So guess what? This young-ass generation thinks it's okay to steal my stuff and your stuff. And guess what? Every time you go to Walmart and your grocery store and all these stores, guess who's paying for their crime? Walmart is shutting stores down. I guarantee you they'll shut that store down in Chicago after this. Walmart is not going to sit there and take massive losses like that at thug behavior. They'll just simply pull the damn store and say, bye. If this shit continues to get traction, it's going to come into your neighborhood. It's going to come into New England. It's going to come into your little nice enclaves where you think you're safe from all this. I'm going to tell Americans, if you can move away from the big cities, do so immediately. I'm going to tell Americans that are conservative, get out of the black neighborhoods where there's a majority of them and they think that the Democrat Party's all right. Get out. Because you're going to be in danger. I live in a predominantly 57% black. This city's fairly calm. When the riots went on, we didn't have them here in 2020. But the black on black violence in this city is more percentile wise than Denver, which is a bigger city than here. That's disturbing. That black on black, by the way, has not one thing to do with us white folks at all. I work with black youth. I have grown to love these black boys and girls. They've grown to love me. There's something wrong with parents that teach their children to hate, to teach their children it's okay to steal and smash everything, to teach them to get revenge on all the hardworking people out there, to think that even though corporate America is greedy, and it is, that you who didn't work hard to get there, you're going to go and smash up all their businesses. The CEO of Walmart just this year said because of all the theft in the stores, he's jacking up the prices. This was $2.18 2 years ago. This is now $3.26. That's at Walmart. Every single item has gone up. And I'm going to say, black Americans, not all of them, not all African Americans are like this. There are black conservatives that don't support this crap. I know a 70-something-year-old black man that I work with who does not support the Biden administration. His own wife is a Democrat. His own family ridicules him for believing what he believes. I have met blacks here where I live that voted for Donald Trump. They don't like what the Democrats are doing and have been doing. I tell you what, if I was the mayor of Chicago, I'd be calling in the National Guard. And I'd tell the National Guard, do what you got to do to stop the madness. And if that means shoot to kill, then shoot to kill. How can you say that about teens? Look what they're doing. These teens are having sex. They're doing drugs. Look at the black women involved in this, black girls. Look at them. Look at the hate, the evil, the anger, the rage at what? Tearing up their own city, acting like barbaric thugs. Biden said he didn't want his daughter to go to a public school, and I quote him, "It's a jungle in there." The blacks ignored that statement and voted for him. Biden was actually correct. It is a jungle in some of these black schools. Their test scores are low. The fighting, the violence, the craziness is off the chain. But of course, for me to say this, I'm going to be called a racist. I'm not going to say kind and sensitive things to these black troubled teens any more than I would say kind or sensitive things to white troubled teens. You cross a line when you go into an adult world and tear up other people's stuff. I don't care what the hell your struggle is. I got mine too. And I'd have every reason for the stuff that's been done to me by black people to go into their neighborhoods and light everything on fire, but I don't, because I believe in God. And I believe God will get revenge on those that have done me wrong. My job is to love people, but it's hard today. It's hard to watch black teens tear up a city and get away with this, and a lame-ass mayor and an ex-mayor, or soon-to-be ex, isn't doing anything, and she's commenting on it. Lori Lightfoot, shut the fuck up. You did not win this election for a reason. But the people in Chicago are stupid. They voted by color. They voted by Democrat, and now they're going to see their city go to hell fast. When you let the kids have that much power, you think you're going to stop it? I wouldn't go to Chicago. I've been there twice. I've been through there several times, but I've been through there twice. The Miracle Mile, Lake Michigan, Water Tower Place. Some pretty cool stuff down there. It's funny, nobody wants to learn the lesson of Cabrini Green. Read it for yourself. I'm not going to give it all away, but there were 10, 12, I don't know how many story buildings. Groups of them. And guess what? Mostly blacks. The police stopped coming in there. Gangs were firing across the compounds there and hitting their own black children. People throw bowling balls and microwave ovens on the roofs of police cruisers that come in. The inside of these buildings look like Beirut with graffiti and burned out hallways. And Chicago had to finally tear them down. And Democrats in the city of Chicago failed to learn that this shit happens again and again and again. So now you're going to try to make friends with the teens by saying they're hungry. There's a difference between stealing an apple or food quietly, sneakily, because you're starving to death, versus grouping up and jumping up and down on cars, and girls with their fucking $300 hair jobs. Fuck these mayors. I'm telling you, I don't know why the Americans that live in Chicago, that this bothers them to see this, aren't doing something to stop it. What has happened to Americans with a pair of balls and a spine that they sit in their living room and cuss at the TV? These men need to get in their pickup trucks. They need to bring their hardware and go down and say, not fucking today. You're not tearing up this shit no more. Or is it because there's so many idiots in Chicago that they don't want to do anything? Is it really all that Democrat? Is it that pervasive that Democrats just let their city be torn apart? Why are they doing this? I don't know. It's a damn good question. I think the Democrats enjoy this. They enjoy seeing things destroyed. We saw it in 2020. They just don't seem to care about a quality of life, except for themselves, except with their huge bank accounts and mansions that are far removed from this Neanderthal behavior. And the Democratic Party continues to keep black people in this country in a state of jungle behavior. I have female friends in Kenya, Uganda, Nairobi, and Lusaka, Kasama, and Zambia, and Nigeria. The beautiful women, cultured, grow their own vegetables, go to work every day, and work in the big corporate world. And you know what? They speak several languages, and they're gracious, and they're kind. I cannot believe how many African-American women are so ghetto, and so classless, and so unladylike, and participate in this. These women are not hungry. They got their hair done. You can bet they're fucking guys. You can bet that they're fooling around. You can bet they're doing drugs. You can bet that they're running all over their mother. And watching these teens, I doubt there's a father in the picture who's got a steady hand and says, boy, I catch you doing that, I'm going to tear you up. No. I saw what happened when African Americans moved to Duluth, Minnesota from Chicago and Gary, Indiana. They brought a lot of bullshit up there. That's a fact. Blacks are 13% of the United States population. Asians and Hispanics and white people, you better wake the fuck up. This party is turning that group of people over there into a monster that's eventually going to affect all of you in the quiet neighborhoods. Mark my words. Women stealing purses and Prada purses and Coach purses and all this other stuff. But they're hungry, huh? But you're going to eat a purse? You're going to eat your basket of makeup you stole out of Target in Minneapolis? Two ladies with their coiffed hairdos that you know they spent money on with their nails gingerly stepping over broken glass, grinning as they take a red Target handbasket out of the store. Now, you know what? The Democrats don't tell the truth. The Democrats have more in common with the devil, who is the father of lies, who comes to seek, to kill, to destroy, to devour. Look at what the Democrats are doing. And those of you that are black, you call yourselves Christians and vote for this party, have aligned yourselves with the devil on high. And I don't care if the whole black community in America is offended at what I say. And hello, Journey Question. James Baumel, welcome. This has gone on long enough. It is no longer about how bad it is to try to date American women. We're beyond that. It's about whether this nation's going to survive. It's about whether there's going to be men and women that are going to stand up and say, we're not letting this crap happen. A president of the United States who's got any kind of integrity would not allow this crap to be going on. A president said, Mayor, you better get it together. You'd better get it together. It's interesting. Chicago's always had a history of crime. The mafia loved Chicago. Al Capone and his buddies. And now we have Brandon Johnson and his mob. And we have lesbian Lori Lightfoot, who is not a pretty lady. She's not a lady. She's female. There's nothing lady about her. She's a nasty, racist woman. Brandon Johnson is a racist black man. It is okay for African American people to be racist towards whites, but it's not okay for white people to be racist against blacks. And a lot of white people are not racist against blacks at all. They don't like their behavior and their fucked up beliefs that are teaching them that whites are privileged and whites are this or that. You cannot have open dialogue with Democrat black people. I work with a woman who daily is reminding me of all the things that white people do to her people. But when I mention her about Chicago, silence. The black people in this country are a fucking double standard. And I don't know why. There's a whole lot of good Americans out there and they ain't doing a thing. Your focus is like mine. I'm trying to remodel my house, go to work every day. What can I possibly do to stop it? I don't know. But what's going to happen when that shit comes to your front door and says, hey, Whitey, we're taking over, and throw Molotovs through my windows and everybody else? Then what? Then the insurance company said, well, I'm going to pay you because there's so much destruction. We're going to get it. When you let this wickedness rule, the righteous groan, and we're groaning. And I know my mouth is potty, my language is toilet, but I'm angry. We're in trouble. This video is not going to go viral. CNN is not going to report this. If they did, they're going to make me out to be a wingnut. And those black people tearing up Chicago, they're not intelligent enough to listen to what I have to say and get it. Not at all. I'm watching the workplace come to ruin. Management still isn't learning the lesson and changing the problems. You can't get people to come to work. The call-ins, everywhere, everything. You go to Walmart, the prices are changing so fast, they don't change the sticker on the shelf. The product doesn't line up with the sticker. You go to the register, it's $50 for a hardware set, door hardware set that costs $25. I'm like, that's not what the price is. Well, you need to, I did look. Would you like me to take, you think they're going to give it to me at that price? There's stock all over the floor. Stuff is put in the wrong place. Man, if there's a loud message I'm getting is nobody gives a fuck anymore. And while that news is being pumped into living rooms, so hurry up and buy that damn SUV that's $80,000. Hurry up! Got to watch all those dog food and cat food commercials for the perfect health of your pet. Come on now. Does anybody get this? Do you think I'm nuts? Do you think I'm nuts? Where's the prophet? Where's the spokesperson? Where's the person sounding the alarm? Tucker Carlson's doing a damn good job. But is Fox News translating into action to stop this? Or are we just getting our head full of political candy information about how bad it is so we can go talk about it with our friends and say, oh, it's terrible? Can you imagine if Paul Revere just sat in his living room and said, oh, the British are coming. Maybe I'll put it on my Facebook. The Boston Tea Party. Oh, we'll just do it virtually. Did you see my thumbnail on this video? If anybody did, raise your hand. It's a cute painting of African Americans in the river. I have little black kids. Call me Dada. His dad's not in the picture. I do not hate skin color. Personally, I prefer brown or dark skin. I wish I had it. I wouldn't burn as much, for one thing. But I don't like the mentality of the African American community today. I'll say it again. I would love to try living in Kenya or Zambia. I don't have a problem with that. I wouldn't have a problem having a black wife or a black girlfriend. I live in a black community. But what bothers me is people have a choice in this country. Nobody's holding a gun to their head. And you got people believing bullshit, which translate into bullshit behavior. You are what you watch. You are what you are manipulated by. Y'all see all these shitheads out there videotaping all their destruction? Did you see all these black guys with their dreadlocks and the girls with plaits in their hair videotaping, tearing up a white woman? Is that not sick? They said, let's go Brandon. I didn't think it meant voting in Brandon Johnson as a mayor in Chicago. They're hungry. Well, rich fat cats, why don't you feed them? I'm sorry, hungry people don't go in and trash art museums and people's cars. I'm so sick of listening to people that I work with on the media tell me some black man fleeing the police was such a nice guy. Everybody liked him. Everybody that was black but didn't care enough to get him to stop his dumbass behavior. Police. Just like George Floyd. Oh, it's so sad his girls don't have a father. A father who held his gun to a pregnant black woman's belly doing a robbery and went to prison for that. Do you notice that the blacks don't care about the violence done to their own black women? And you got black women tearing up a white woman who hasn't done a thing to any of them. Where are the whites? Where are they? Where is their rage? How long are they going to put up with this and say, oh, and keep apologizing for white skin? If you are standing on truth, you have more power than a lie. This country was not built on cowards. It was built on men who had faith in God and moved. Has America had some bad points in history? Of course, every country has. But back to the Africans that say we're all racist. You didn't leave when you had the chance. And there's nothing stopping you from saving and going. But you don't. These black teens don't care about Ghana, Zambia, Africa, Kenya. They don't give a shit. They like the fact that they can get away with being Neanderthals. And as long as our civilized so-called American society tolerates it, it's only going to gain traction. How far does this have to go before Americans wake up and then it's too late? How far does this have to go? This shit's going on in Chicago. What's to stop it? These kids are all watching the social media. What's to stop it? Dr. King stood up to decry the treatment of his people, and rightfully so. Where's the white Dr. King standing up for our rights, for the rights of business owners, for the rights of beautiful downtown businesses and the right to be free from crime and violence and people's cars being torn up? Where are the people that are standing up? Where are all these conservatives and Republicans that sit here sounding the alarm about how bad it is? What are they doing? Nothing. I know there's state jurisdiction, municipal jurisdiction, federal. I know there's all kinds of dynamics here that's not easy to unpack and do. But can I remind everybody, you have a constitutional right to assemble a militia and stop this crap. You can't stop what's going on in Chicago, but you can stop what's going on in Washington. However, you all know that if you don't have the numbers with you, they'll do just like January 6th. You'll be imprisoned. I'm not going to stand up by myself and go to jail with people who are going to bend me over and butt fuck me up the ass in a prison system. No, I'm not doing that. But if 90 million men and women stood up and said, we're not doing this anymore, I'm in. Strength and safety in numbers, folks. Why are you letting the Democrats run the hell all over you? You're paying higher prices at the pump, higher prices for gas, natural gas, your electric rates, everything. My taxes are going up on my house. The garbage is going up. Food prices are going up because of all the theft at the Walmarts. Clothing, everything you buy is going up. All of this torched and ignited by corruption, by the left, by mamby-pamby pussy Republicans like Mitch McConnell. They've got their fucking snow globe. They got their retirement account. They don't want to rock no boats. You got people on Fox News telling Republicans that they're going to have to soften their stand on abortion. You got a conservative talk show host out here where I live that I like, and he today said that people are angered at him because he is not against gay marriage. I heard in my truck, it wasn't an accident, I heard this, but he said that Christians have contacted him and said, your stance, okay, in gay marriage makes Jesus want to cry. No, it doesn't. I disagree with that. The unrighteous people in this world already are, they're lost souls. And one thing I communicate to Christians all the time, you cannot expect a non-Christian world to act Christian. I don't always act Christian. We're sinners. I'm a sinner. We're all sinners. But if we don't have men and women to say, okay, here's the boundary, we got to stop. You're allowing gay marriage. You've legalized abortion. Now you're legalizing rampant teen mob mentality crime. What are you going to do when these teens come in and start killing your little children? What are you going to do when they come up into New England and start terrorizing everything? You think it can't happen? Woe to you that think you're safe, watching this from the comfort of your living room. If you don't stop it over here, it'll move, and it will be on the move. Home Depot, California today. An employee tried to stop a man from stealing. Was shot by the man. Doing his job, defending his store, got shot and killed. Oh my gosh. And all of that is going to the Democratic Party. Isn't that fun? It's disgusting. Black people in America, you had better pull your heads out of your asses. Notice most of the places that are Democrat dominant are extremely expensive places. Number one, notice the leaders you vote for are millionaires and live in mansions. Notice how they keep you down here wanting EBT cards, Section 8. When are you going to connect the dots and realize it's your own people, it's your own party that don't want you to soar with the wings of eagles? They want you smashing shit. They are cheering you smashing shit. They're enjoying and getting their orgasm off watching black teens go crazy. Because I promise you this, when the Democrats get total control, they're going to shoot and annihilate every one of those people. You don't believe me? You haven't paid attention to history, have you? Voting Democrat, black people, works against you. Conservative talk guy locally here made a comment today. Said, people say, you make Jesus cry that you want to endorse gay marriage. And he said, no, this is about being an American, and Americans have freedom. Be careful, conservatives. Be careful. When a man says that America and freedom is greater than Jesus, run. God in the Bible is referred to as the Ancient of Days. Okay? Ancient of Days. What he has set in stone, thou shalt not. This media is not standing on the rock of biblical truth. When grown men and grown women, i.e. Lightfoot and Johnson, are condoning and excusing riotous, out of control. What does the Bible say for the Christian? The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, gentleness, kindness, patience, self-control. Do you see that in the black community when they're doing this stuff? Do you see the black Christian ministers talking about the fruit of the Spirit and telling his people, stop doing this? Nope. Go to most of these black churches. We got a black church right here in town. Whites are not allowed. Oh, I thought racism was wrong. Not if you're black. When we put America, when we put freedom above the principles of Christ, who is God, who is coming back, we're going to reap what we sow. When we give children more rights to disrespect, disregard, attack, kill, and endanger, our judgment cannot be far off. Look what happened when Elijah or Elisha, one of them, a prophet of God, was going up the mountain and 42 youths. People want to criticize me for saying all these teens vandalizing everything should be shot. Let's see what God had to do with 42 teens called youths in the Bible. These weren't little kids. They were making fun of a prophet of God. Going up, you bald head. That prophet of God called down a curse in the name of the Lord. And 2 she-bears came and mauled 42 youth. You know what God said in the Old Testament about a son who curses his mother or father? He's to be stoned. Where's the outrage? From all of Americans to stand up as a united front and say, black men, why are you using your women? 75% of the black women are raising the children by themselves. And guess what you see in Chicago? These are not black children. They're growing up with well-adjusted, steady, rock-solid father figure or a mature woman of faith. These children in Chicago are growing up by women who are emotionally driven logic, who probably get more off of Jerry Springer, doing drugs, fucking man after man, living on the system. How do you rebuild or rehabilitate that kind of a mindset when they've got to the point that they're acting in savage fury? What then? Who's going to stop it? When the mayors don't, When the politicians don't, when the police don't. Did you see the Portland police? Fully armed shields back in 2020, letting the rioters have sway. Made no effort to stop them. What would have happened if a bunch of men in pickup trucks came cruising down the street with men in the back of the truck loaded with AKs and ARs and magazine clips, said, you got a minute to clear out or we're going to open fire? I bet y'all the cops would have taken them in right now. How long are you going to let America be forced into an Adolf Hitler style nation where this administration is going to use the lowest common denominator in America? And you're going to hear this from me. This is fact. It is not racist. That out of all the ethnicities, the black populace scores the lowest. Okay. And we're allowing the tail to wag the dog. The culture that creates ghetto. The culture that creates this violent, foul, profane rap music. When they idolize Snoop Dogg and Prince and Tupac, these are our heroes. I may sound like an old fart. I like my music. But Simon Le Bon is not a hero. Miss Bono of U2 is not a hero. They're musicians. They're entertainers. When black kids only have a sports star like LeBron or a music star, a pop star like Tupac, when Kamala Harris said that that is her idol, why was he shocked? Because birds of a feather flock together and get killed together. He produced garbage music. He lived in a garbage culture. And a guy like me says that, I'm automatically branded a racist. Tupac's music will not be around in 400 or 500 years. A black guy approached my friend in Ohio when he was working at Amazon. Said, your people don't have a culture. I told my friend, I said, I wish I'd have been there. I said, you are full of it, dude. Classical music has outlasted rap culture, has by hundreds of years. The building styles in Europe alone. You didn't build that stuff. Europeans did. And that was brought over here. The inventions that all these black people are using to film all this violence did not come from ebony. It came from whites. And the Democrats are fostering this racial hatred, this racial strife. The Democrats are making it so that you guys cannot get the American dream, but they've helped themselves to it. Your greedy, disgusting SOB politicians that you keep voting in. They're getting rich while you're not. You think you got power to bust and smash things. You think God's going to ignore you because you're not a Christian? Well, I don't go to church. You think that God is going to leave you alone because you're black? Are you going to claim some sort of connection to your Negro spirituals? Please. Do you think because you're in the modern world that God doesn't exist and that nothing's going to happen to you because you didn't get caught this time? You're really stupid. You black folks better read Solomon. You better read Ecclesiastes. There's nothing new under the sun. You live like jungle. Don't be surprised if God raises up a people. Don't be surprised if Russia's watching all this, which they are, and Putin is laughing. America's falling apart from within. Let's throw an ICBM over there and finish them off. You think it can't happen? What are the blacks going to do then? Protest? Bye-bye, Chicago. You think it can't happen? When the dollar starts to crumble, how much are the blacks going to steal and keep getting away with it? When our administration that's top heavy now and our dollar crumbles, guess what? These bastards aren't going to be able to lead for long. And all the rest of these people that own guns, they're going to shoot your sorry ass. Then you're not going to have police protection because nobody can afford to pay the cops. Yeah, keep it up, folks. Keep stirring the shit pot. Keep doing it. You're sealing your own doom. You think all you white, rich Democrats, you think these black people in Chicago tearing everything up are going to respect you and leave you alone? How many of these Democrats would change their tune if all those blacks stampeded into the Hamdens? Send them to Martha's Vineyard! Send these thugs to Martha's Vineyard, to the Obama's house. Send them to Maxine Waters' mansion. Send them to Pelosi's. You think these black thugs are going to say, oh, we really respect you? You see, until this shit that they're doing to everybody else hits them, when are you going to wake up? When are you going to wake up? Our destruction and our judgment is soon. I never thought I'd say this, but 2020 was the turning point. Forget about making America great again. At this point, we'd better be worried about just saving the farm. Better think about it.